Hello everyone, my name is Anya Hawkins, welcome to my channel. I like hats. I like wearing them, I like knitting them. They don't take a lot of yarn, they're fast, they're easy, and they're perfect canvas for experimentation. And now winter is here and I was going to sort through my collection of knitted items just to see what I have, because now I have to make daily decisions about what I'm going to wear today. And I thought that it's a perfect opportunity to make a video for the love of the hats. All the hats that I made video. But I quickly realized that that would not work because I almost never knit just a hat. I always do something for neck and for hands or both to go with it. So my neat idea of making all the hats video turned into this lengthy monster of a video where I am going to be talking about everything that I knitted for head, hands and my neck. And I'm going to try everything on. I'm going to give you a little backstory about each item and I'm going to evaluate each item by 3 parameters. First, wearability, how often do I wear it? Then the fit, is it good fit? Is it not great or even bad? And the look, how much I actually like it. So let's get into it. First item on my list is this thin, delicate 1x1 rib scarf that is actually predates my era of knitting. I made it, I don't know, probably 15 years ago or so, and it was my first knitted garment, and it is partially responsible for me not knitting for years because, well, it's very thin yarn. And a scarf from such thin yarn on bad, misshapen aluminum needles, it is not a very beginner-friendly project, and my advice to you, don't do that. If you're only looking to start your knitting journey, don't start with a scarf. Judging by the photographs that I find of me knitting this scarf, I think that I spent on it half a year or even more so. And it's not like I cast it on and put it aside and then take up again. No, half a year of actual knitting. I was knitting like every day or almost every day. It was an exercise in stubbornness actually. I just really wanted to have thin scarf in this color because this is my favorite color, especially to wear with something black. And when I finished this scarf, I was very proud of myself. I wore it a lot, like I wore it constantly. But after that, I wasn't knitting for, let me see, more than a decade. So let's say I was convinced that knitting is hard and boring, and when I worked on it, I remember that I had real trouble staying awake. So it was hard, it was boring, it wasn't a good idea, but the scarf, I still wear it occasionally. I love how it fits. It is not for warmth, it is accessory. I actually wear it like that usually. It fits perfectly and I love how it looks. Then, as the years passed, I started to get interested in taking up knitting again, and what do you know, again I started with scarf, this one. It is 2-colored brioche scarf. But this time I loved the process of knitting. Maybe it's because I had good needles, maybe because it is much bulkier yarn, or it was just right thing at the right time. I was just in love with the process of knitting and I haven't stopped since then, and it was back in 2018 probably, or even 2017. I don't remember exactly. I know like everything about those projects and in which order I knitted them, because since I started working on this scarf, I started keeping knitting journals. I fill them with all kinds of information, all except the date. I don't know why it didn't occur to me, but I started doing it only this last year or so, so I never know when exactly I knitted something and how much it took me. But now I'm better with that information. So this scarf I wear rarely. It doesn't go with a lot of my things. It fits, well, not great. It is too narrow and too short for such a warm scarf. I like to wear a scarf like that, and then those tails are just too short for my taste. It's not very comfortable. So the fit is not great, but I love how it looks. I always loved two-colored brioche. Next in my knitting history is my first ever beanie hat. I made it from a tutorial that I saw on YouTube. I don't know whether it is a pattern or just a tutorial, but I don't think that it is a pattern, but it's pretty popular construction. It's made flat in this direction, and on one side you're doing short rows to make a crown, and then you seam it up at the back. This project was a huge success. It started my hat collection. Well, first of all, it is a beanie. It is my favorite type of hat. It has slouch, it doesn't have folded brim, and I just think that this type of hat suits me. But what is more important, I figured out how to make it wearable for me. I made fleece lining in it, and it was a very good idea because I cannot wear knitted fabric on my forehead. It is crazy sensitive. Like, give me the bitiest, scratchiest yarn and I can wear it on my neck and like, cozy, but not on my face. No, lower part of my face is okay with scratchy yarn, just forehead. So this beanie is very important to me because it is a start of an era of knitted hats that I can actually wear. It is also one of my favorite colors. It has a matching neck thing. It is not knitting, it is crochet, and it wasn't made by me, it was a gift. I wear it like that. I used only half a ball of yarn, of this yarn, and half is just was lying around. And my mom, she crocheted for me a scarf. It was very beautiful, but again it had the same problem that my previous scarf. It was too short to be comfortable. So eventually I seamed up ends together, and now it is a snood. I know that in different parts of world this word means different things, so I call it a snood. Maybe it's a cowl, maybe it's neck warmer. Let's say neck warmer. So I wear this set a lot. I love how it looks. It fits perfectly. The neck thingy is not universal. Since I lined this hat, it is suitable even for harshest winter weather, but the neck thingy is not for when it's very cold. Okay, next on my list is a hat again. It is a twin or copy of a previous one in the same yarn with the same construction with virtually the same backstory down to the neck thingy. Everything that I said about previous set goes for this one too. I love how it looks. I wear it all the time and it fits perfectly, and actually I sometimes combine them like that. Maybe I wear this brown set a little less often just because I like this yellow color very much and I'm not always in the mood for browns. Next on my list is a beanie hat. This now is in stockinette stitch. It is simple, plain stockinette grey beanie, very universal. I don't wear it anymore because actually it is worn out, it's lost its shape. It is now in a pile of work things. I use it when I'm playing with dogs outside or when I'm cutting or chopping wood, because you cannot wear nice knitted items when you're working outside because sawdust is impossible to get out again. And this hat that has been worn quite a lot has a companion to it. It is one colored brioche scarf. And this time I learned my lesson and I made it wide and I made it long, so it is very warm and cozy. This scarf also saw a lot of wear and I don't wear it anymore to go out. It is now dirty work outfit. So wearability, I wore it a lot and now I still wear it, but for different things. The fit, it fits perfectly. It is a perfect brioche scarf, and beanie hat also fits perfectly. The look, I'm fine with it. I'm not loving it. Well, I like grey color, but this particular shade of grey looks a little dull to me. Or maybe I'm just tired of it. I'm overheating in this sweater right now. By the way, it is my Calamagrostis sweater. I'm making it in a pattern and it will soon be available in my Ravelry store. And now I'm going to take it off because it's too hot. Much better. So next on my list is a hat that many of you will probably recognize. It is a Dustland hat by Steven West. It is one of the rare projects that I made from a knitting pattern, mainly to see just what it's like to knit from a knitting pattern, I mean. And I can totally recommend this pattern. It is very good. It's one of my favorite hats for like deep winter when it's very cold. And from leftover yarn I made a simple garter stitch scarf. The gauge is a little tight, it's quite dense scarf, but in this case it's good because when I wear it like that it folds in half here and it protects me from wind pretty good. And when it's very cold I go around like that and I'm warm and cozy. So wearability. This set I wear a lot when it's very cold. It fits perfectly and I love how it looks. Okay, this next hat is also a pattern, but I cannot find it. I don't remember who is the designer. I don't remember what is the name of this pattern. So if anyone recognizes this design, please tell me and everyone else in the comments, because for the life of me I cannot remember and I cannot find it anywhere. And this hat also had a matching neck thingy. I should have put it on first. It is a neck warmer that is basically just a part of raglan sweater. I love those things. I don't know what to call them. I was calling them mock necks, but I think mock neck is just the type of neck. It's not like this whole thing is a mock neck. How should I call it? Fake sweater? Anyways, I love those things. They are just so warm, so comfortable to wear. They are so fast to knit. They take very little yarn. They look incredible with a jacket, of course. Without one, it maybe kind of looks a little silly, but let me show you how it looks. Like when you put on a jacket, you just like, I have a matching sweater. And as you are going to see in my collection, there are plenty of those. And I cannot stress enough how comfortable they are. And just like for your knitting skills, they are also very good because it is basically a start of a raglan sweater. I even did the short rows at the back of the neck, though in this case it is not necessary. But I was training to make a future raglan sweater with short rows, and since it's not actually a sweater, it's not as scary to make mistakes. And this one is a good beginner-friendly project. It's much better than a scarf. I wear this neck warmer all the time. It fits perfectly. I like that it's not very tight, and I just love how it looks. One of my favorite colors, very beautiful yarn. The hat, despite how much I love the look of it, I don't wear like at all because the fit is not great. I'm not loving how the crown behaving. When I just put it on, it looks kind of fine, but it doesn't want to stay like that. It slowly goes. And I don't think that this look is for me. And I don't think that it is supposed to be like that. I think that it should stay folded, but it just does not. So I never wear it, despite my love of this stitch pattern. And now that I'm looking at this stitch pattern, I think that I want a sweater like that. I should make one. Next on my list is another set. It is again fake raglan sweater neck warmer and the hat, my second attempt at making the same hat, and it's much more comfortable. And I tried to fix a problem with the crown of the hat, but I don't think that I'm succeeded because I should have made just different type of crown altogether, but I tried to work with this one. I just sewn it in place and now it looks too flat for my taste. This hat I wear occasionally because, well, it fits, it's comfortable, despite the problem with the crown, and I love the look of this stitch pattern. I should really make a sweater like that. The neck thing is perfect. So let's see what else I have. It is my first attempt at making color work, and of course I self-drafted it. I'm very proud of this one. I researched stranded color work before making this hat, and I was pretty intimidated by the thought of managing tension of the floats, so I chose this technique that makes you cross your yarns every stitch, so the floats, like, there is no floats, they are completely woven into the fabric, and it worked fine. The tension is not perfect, but for the first time it is success. Nowadays I find that the traditional way of making parallel floats is much easier actually. I love this hat. The more I look at it, the more I love it. Those colors together, the stitch pattern, everything about this hat I just love. And I should make more hats like that, and I should make a pattern out of it, because this hat is just, it is must have. But sadly I don't wear it at all, because it is not in my size, it's too tight for me. So it's not my hat, I gifted it, it's just temporarily in my possession, just because I wanted to show it to you. Next on my list, another colorwork project. And by the way, this previous hat turned out a little too small for me, exactly because of this technique where you crossing your yarns. So once I realized that, I self-drafted another colorwork hat, this time a little bigger, so it would fit me, and I used much bigger motif, these Norwegian or Scandinavian stars. I always loved those and I wanted to use them in a hat. And this colorwork hat I wear all the time because it fits much better, though it is still not a perfect fit because the pom-pom turned out to be heavier than the hat itself and it pulls. It kind of bothers me when I wear it, but I love how it looks. By the way, the yarn that I used in those both hats, it is leftovers from those two projects. Colorwork is just a perfect stash busting project, especially colorwork hats, because you don't need a lot of yarn. So what else I have to show you today? So next on my list is 3 pairs of mittens. It is my first attempt at making mittens. They are self-drafted again, and for the first attempt they are pretty impressive. They are all transforming mittens. Despite how impressive it is to make comfortable and very warm transforming mittens at the first attempt, I don't wear them anymore at all. Since I made them, I realized that I don't like mittens at all. I don't like to wear mittens. I don't like how they look, and especially I don't like how those one look, because they're very annoyingly pointy. I feel like I look like a penguin when I'm wearing those, and since then I learned how to make very warm lined gloves, so those mittens are retired from my wardrobe and I no longer wear them, and I should probably find them a new home. I showed you probably a third of my collection this time, and I will show you the rest pretty soon. Don't go anywhere. And hello again, let's continue where we left off. Next on my list are those fingerless mitts. This is quite popular cable pattern. It is a cable that looks like an owl. I used black beads for eyes, and these mittens I wear when I'm working on the computer in the winter. Sometimes it's getting uncomfortable to sit with my hands on keyboard and mouse, and I need something to keep my hands warm. This is quite rustic wool and they're bitey, but because of that they are very warm. I wear them occasionally. They fit fine. I'm not used to working with something on my hands. I saw some people even knit in fingerless mitts. I cannot do that, they are getting in the way. But what I like about them is that they have separate tube for thumb, and not just a hole like in some models. I also like that they are pretty long and they fit me perfectly, it is my size. I'm fine with the way they look. I love how this owl turned out. The only thing that I don't like is that you can see in this 1x1 rib here and here leathers, because I was making them with magic loop. And I don't get leathers with magic loop in stockinette and 2x2 rib, but in 1x1 rib, for some reason, I always get them, and that's why I think that I should have chose different ribbon. Next on my list is a set. It's neck warmer, a beanie hat, and a pair of mittens, transforming mittens again. I remember being just obsessed with this yarn. I wanted to have a sweater in this exact pattern. It is double moss stitch or double seed stitch. It's called different in different sources. But no matter how much I swatched on different sizes of needles, no matter how many calculations I did for different styles of sweaters, I just couldn't squeeze out a sweater from the amount of yarn that I had. And there was no way of getting more. And I didn't want to combine this yarn with any other color because it would have killed this soft green. So the hat and neck thing, and by the way, the neck thing was kinda experimental. I didn't do this mock neck part in ribbon. I made it in the same pattern and it worked really well. And I also made raglan increases in that way that you cannot see them in this pattern. They are not disrupting it. It was a very nice and clever solution. It would have worked really good if it was a sweater. So what do I think about this set now? I wear it occasionally, or maybe rarely, though the hat and neck thing fit me perfectly. They're very comfortable, they're very warm, but I just don't reach for them in my collection when I'm deciding what I would wear today. Probably because I'm still kind of upset that this is not a sweater, which is silly, because as I'm looking at it now, it is perfectly fine set. There's nothing wrong with it. It looks beautiful. Well, at least I like this color and I find that it suits me, but still I don't wear it often when maybe I should. So I'm fine with how it looks, apart from it not being a sweater. It looks totally fine, but the mittens didn't turn out right at all. This yarn is very bouncy, and in this pattern the fabric behaved a little weirdly. It is constricted in that way and stretched out in that way. So this mitten that I did, just like I did my previous mittens, and they were fine, it's so long and narrow that this is ridiculous. The other one that's supposed to be transforming, this transforming part is just not long enough, and it opens. It opens by itself. It's cold, it's uncomfortable. I wear those mittens probably a couple of times, and they are awful. This ribbon should have started here and go all the way back, all the way here. They are weird. I don't wear them, they don't fit, and I hate how they look. Next, I knitted another set. It's a hat, a scarf, and a pair of mittens. This set is made in blow yarn. I used this kind of yarn for the first time and I like it very much. It is super soft. It feels as soft as cashmere. This scarf is all over in seed stitch, and in a hat I made pearl diamonds and I did them in the mittens too. So wearability. I wear this scarf a lot. It is very soft and very warm and at the same time very lightweight. The hat I wear occasionally. It fits fine, but it is a rare instance where I like my hat and scarf separately more than I like them together. So the hat I'm fine with how it looks. The scarf I just love it. I should make more all over seed stitch projects. I don't know, for some reason I just love seed stitch. And as for the mittens, they're mittens. They fit fine, but I hate how they look because I just don't like mittens. Next is the return of old tried construction of beanie hat. This is again that construction that I was showing you last time, but this time it is in black alpaca yarn and I added some sparkles to it. I hope they are catching the light and sparkle right now. What can I say about this hat? I love it. I absolutely love it. It is the most comfortable construction for me. It fits me perfectly. I wear it all the time. It's very warm. Alpaca yarn, I find that is even warmer than just regular wool. I held together my alpaca yarn with novelty yarn that had... I always forget how they are called. I should check. Sequins? I feel like I'm hearing this word for the first time. And I will probably forget again. So this is one of my favorite hats that I ever knitted. And it has a scarf from the same alpaca yarn. It is long, just enormous, brioche scarf. It is very warm and cozy, and the fact that this is not deep saturated black and a little more subtle, I think it makes it luxurious. When it's very cold outside, I put it over my face, and brioche fabric is very good for this. It allows me to breathe freely, but at the same time it warms my face, and then I'm breathing in the air that is much warmer. So this is my perfect winter set. This is my perfect scarf and perfect hat. I was kinda on the roll with black, so I made another set in black. Almost black. This is my favorite unwearable set. I adore this combination of yarns that I used, this black fluffy yarn, very thin beige yarn, and again I added sequins to the hat, and I always want to wear this hat, but I never do, because this set is a complete and total fail. The hat is just... it's unproportionately big. It's not my size at all. I don't know how I managed to get it just so big. When I'm knitting, I'm trying my hats on constantly, and I think that I tried it on, but for some reason I didn't notice that it's enormous. And when I'm trying to wear this set, the hat just... it goes over my eyes. It's so big. It goes over my eyes, I have to adjust it constantly, and then it starts going around my head like that, and it's awful. It's awful fit, but I like this fabric so much. Look. Just look how wide it is. And I'm not stretching it out. And I can stretch it out. What is it? Is it a hat? Look how much wider it is than it should be. It's insane. Insanely wide but very beautiful hat, which I don't wear, which has very interesting and also unwearable neck thingy. And it's just it. This is a thingy. It's not a proper neck warmer. I was running out of this beautiful yarn, probably because all of it has gone into this enormous hat. I didn't have a plan what I'm trying to do. I just knew that I want something in reverse stockinette stitch, and that part I successfully accomplished. I was knitting from here and I was increasing, and I saw that there's like virtually no yarn left, and I just joined it in the round and started knitting this tube. And this is the back of the neck, and this is just how much fabric there is. It's too little. My neck at the back is virtually naked. It looks good, but it's very cold and uncomfortable. It's just not a good construction, and I should do something about it. I want to have a hat in this yarn with sequins in reverse stockinette stitch, but this is not it. I should try to unravel it and knit it again, because as it is, it's just taking up space in my storage, and I never wear it, and every time I see it I get frustrated because I want to wear it but I can't because it fits so badly. Okay, the next project was a set of fingerless mitts. They are made from leftover self-striping sock yarn, and these ones I wear a lot. I like to have them just in my backpack when I'm hiking or camping. I like to journal outside, and they are perfect for this. I like writing in them. It's such a thin yarn that they are not getting in the way, and they are just very comfortable. They fit me perfectly, and I love how they look. They're kinda very sporty. Okay, let's see what's next. Do you recognize this construction? It's vertical garter, as I call it. I don't know, I call them vertical garter beanie. It's a safe way for me to make comfortable and beautiful hat. That's why I make them so much. This time it's a yarn, again new yarn for me. It's a chainette construction, very interesting and very interesting color. It's such a kind of military green and it has a little sparkle to it also. I don't know whether camera shows it. And it has a neck thing. I was running out of this chainette green yarn, so I added a couple of black stripes. In this black alpaca yarn, I had a lot of this yarn and I had a lot of leftovers and I used them a lot. So this set I wear it often, especially the hat. The neck thingy is kinda loose, it's not for very cold weather. It fits me perfectly and I love how it looks. And there's nothing more I can say about it. So next on my list are these gloves that I made from leftover sock yarn. These are my first gloves. It turned out that it is very easy to make gloves, especially if you're making them for yourself, when you can try them on constantly to get fingers to be of a correct length. Because it's a main difficulty for me in buying gloves. In gloves in my size, the fingers are always short. So these gloves were a huge success. And I instantly cast on for another pair in different self-striping yarn. I like that they are matching. They're like identical. So both of those I wear constantly in a transitional period because they are not very warm, but they're very useful when the weather just starts turning a little chilly. And even when I'm not wearing them, I'm like having them in my backpack. I probably have time to show you one more thing today. And the rest I will show you next time. But I just have to show you this hat that, as you can see, matches my sweater. I call it Ice Drift sweater and this is Ice Drift hat. I'm planning to make them into a pattern someday. It would be a major undertaking because this freestyle colorwork stitch pattern would not grade well. So I will have to rework it somehow. But anyway, it is a story for another time. This hat I made from leftovers of those yarns. And this is a very special project for me. As you could guess from the name, it is inspired by the ice drift. Those brown parts represent riverbanks, and blue represents water, and white represents chunks of ice that are rushing by. So anyway, this hat, and sweater also, they started the era of colorwork knitting for me. On this particular project, I learned how to make parallel floats and how to make them good. And since then, I just can't have enough of colorwork projects. I just love knitting them. I love not only the result, but the process itself. It's very interesting, and I find that project that has colorwork in it just goes by very fast. So I didn't have a lot of brown yarn and I was saving every bit of it when I was knitting this sweater because I knew that I wanted a matching hat, and I used the same stitch patterns from here and the same yarns, and it's just lovely hat. I wear it constantly, it fits perfectly, and I just love how it looks. The only issue with this hat is that for the first time, since I don't like how folded brim looks on me, I did a double ribbing and didn't do a cast on edge here. I used double ribbing because this is what I did in this sweater, and I wanted this edge to be matching my neck opening. And this is when I realized that you cannot line, as I usually do, a hat with rolling edges, because when I put it on for the first time I was very disappointed to see that you can actually see the white lining all around my face. I mitigated that problem by doing blanket stitch around the edge of the lining in the same yarn, but with my very sensitive skin I can feel it, and it's a little bit scratchy. And it's a lesson to the future for me to not do folded brims or double ribbons at the edge of the hats. So anyways, this set is very warm, but I cannot go around in winter when it's very cold without some kind of neck warmer. And that sweater doesn't have a neck. Well, until it suddenly does. I'm just kidding, it is another of my favorite type of neck warmer that is basically a piece of raglan sweater. And when I wear it with this sweater, I usually put it inside, as I showed you just now. It's the same weight yarn, and it's very warm and comfortable, and I wear this neck warmer constantly, not only with this hat and this sweater, because white neck warmer is very universal. It goes with a lot of stuff. It looks good with any type of jacket. I love it. This next part is my favorite because it is the most recent knits, and there are some that literally were life-changing. As I mentioned before, previous hat and sweater combination started the era of colorwork knitting, and this next hat is a proof of it. This one is one of my favorite hats ever. It is the same orange yarn that you saw in many projects before. I just love this yarn, I love this color. This hat, for me, it's like a perfect winter hat, and I wear it all the time because it fits me perfectly, and I just love how it looks. It is so bright that in a winter it's just what I need. And recently I came back to this design and I reworked it in a pattern, and I named it Stellatus Hat, which means set with stars. I again used this Norwegian or Scandinavian star motif, which I like very much, and I topped this hat with black artificial fur pom-pom. It's one of my most worn hats in my wardrobe. It's warm, it's cozy, it's bright, it's everything that I want from a hat in winter. My colorwork spell continues. This hat I knitted next. And this time I experimented a little with the shape, because I was knitting hats by this point for years and I always make them slouchy because I like how they fit. I think that they suit me, but at the same time I felt like I'm kinda stuck on one construction and I wanted to try something else. And I tried a hat without slouch, more of a sportish fit, so the pom-pom would look straight up, and this hat fit me fine. I rarely wear it because I think that this construction doesn't look as good on me personally. And this particular hat, it looks like it's a little too small, though there are plenty of room, so I didn't make this hat into a pattern. Not everything should be a pattern, and this hat is not one of my favorites. Perfectly fine hat, it's just not exactly in my style. I was continuing experimenting with the shape. Again, I made this hat without slouch. This one I like much more than black, green and brown one. Probably it's the colors. When I wear this hat, I always get compliments on it, probably because of the color. I can't say that this is one of my favorite colors, but it is one of the colors that looks best on me. When I wear something blue, my eyes also look like they blue. And I wear it all the time, especially when there are fresh snow around, because it fits the mood of freshly fallen snow. This hat I also self-drafted. I combined different stitch patterns from various stitch dictionaries, and I think that it is one of my favorite designs just in terms of colorwork. I actually like it so much that I made another one. But this time I came back to my favorite shape. I added a little bit of slouch to this exact same pattern, and I feel like I say it about many of my hats, but this one is definitely my most worn piece. It's soft, it's warm, it's beautiful. So from all of my collection, this one is my favorite. And I also came back and reworked it into a pattern. I named it Nivosa Hat. It is available for free in my Ravelry store. So if you like this design as much as I do, you can always try to knit it yourself. Like if I had to get rid of all of my knitted hats, that is the one that I would hold on to. Next on my list is kind of a palette cleanser. It is a simple stockinette beanie that I knitted from the same yarn that I knitted this sweater. I always wear this hat when I wear this sweater out, and that sweater I knitted so I wouldn't need a scarf or anything else on my neck. I made the neck on this sweater extra long so I could cozy up in it, and it's so long that I can even pull it on my face. But it means that when I'm inside I have to fold it again, like there's 4 layers here. Anyways, this set, well, I shouldn't refer to it as a set because sweater is a sweater, and this video is about hats mostly. This hat I wear very often because I wear this sweater very often and it fits me perfectly. I love how it looks. This one I love just for the simplicity. When I'm not in a mood to style how I look, I just grab this hat and I'm all set. Especially since it has a matching pair of gloves. These gloves are from the same yarn, and this is one of those life-changing projects. They just saved my sanity and my hands from cold, of course. I probably told you that about a million times, but I don't like wearing mittens. I don't like how mittens look. But I always thought that it is a complicated process to make lined gloves, and I was wrong. It was very easy. It was just a matter of sewing up the lining first and then knitting the gloves by the measurements that are taking this lining into account. So they are lined with polyester fleece, they are very warm, they are windproof, and they are very comfortable. I don't lose any dexterity in them as I do in mittens. I wear these gloves all the time, not only with this set. This color is just goes with everything, and they are answering my aesthetic preferences. Because when you are cold, you will do anything to be warm, but at the same time, I want to like how I look. And I never liked the look of mittens, but I love how these gloves look. They are not making my hands look bulky at all. Those gloves were so successful that I instantly knitted another pair, this time in orange color. It's not the same yarn, but it's close enough, and I have so much orange stuff in my wardrobe that I felt that I need something to go with all of it. This pair I probably like even more than previous one because this yarn is very durable. Hands always get a lot of rubbing, but this pair ages very gracefully. And of course I wear them a lot, they fit me perfectly, and I love how they look. This next project is another life-changing one. This simple colorwork beanie is very special to me because it is my first Ravelry pattern design. It's not as those previous hat patterns reverse engineered. It was designed specifically to be a pattern. A ton of research went into it, and I am very proud of this hat. It fits all the requirements that I set to myself. I accomplished all of my goals with this one, and it is a free pattern. It is available on Ravelry, and I also made a complete video tutorial for it. I knew for some time that I want to make knitting patterns, and this one showed me that I'm on the correct path because I just loved the process. I loved every difficulty that I met when working on it. It was a long one because everything that I did for the first time, so it's a huge milestone for me. And it's also very warm and soft and comfortable, and I love wearing it. Also, from leftover yarn, I made my favorite type of neck warmer. I'm not going to put it on right now because I have this sweater on, but you can see how it looks with this hat on the pictures that I will insert. It is also very comfortable, my favorite type of neck warmer. I praised them enough, so I won't say anything else about it. And again, from the same yarn, I made a pair of gloves. They are as good as previous 2 pairs, and from that point, I always try, when knitting a hat, not only make something for the neck, but to leave enough yarn to make a pair of gloves just like that. And this dark grey yarn, they look especially good. I wear them all the time. The next 2 projects are necessary evil. I'm kidding, they're not evil, they're just mittens. And I need them because sometimes it is so cold outside that even those lined gloves are not enough, and I need then a cover mitten. It's not my favorite look, but it helps. I don't need them often. only when it's super cold, when it's colder than -30°C. Then I wear them. I made 2 pairs so I can have different options. They look so different from each other, not because they are of different size, but because of the yarn. It is wool, and this is alpaca, and it's very bouncy and squishy. When relaxed, they are constricted, but they are very stretchy, so it's not a problem when I wear them. Next on my list is brioche scarf. It is 2-colored brioche, and it is not a part of any set. It is a standalone project, just very long and squishy and fluffy and warm brioche scarf. For this scarf I used 2 very different yarns. It was an experiment. One yarn is thick and fluffy and another is thin and smooth, and I wanted to see how it would look, and it looks gorgeous. I love this scarf. I didn't have a lot of opportunities to wear it because I just finished it recently. This project actually, it was just giant swatch. If you can see, it is not the same stitch pattern all over. I was experimenting with different ways of making increases and decreases, of making those brioche lines appear and disappear, because I was thinking about making reversible brioche sweater, and I wanted it not to be just straight lines. I wanted to make something different, and I had my fill of experiments in this scarf, and as a result I learned just a ton of everything about brioche, about increases and decreases and fixing mistakes, and I also learned what I like and what I don't like, and in the end I realized that I don't actually want to make such a sweater. The scarf is gorgeous, I love it, but I think that I had enough of such knitting in my life, and I actually prefer the look of just straight brioche rib without any crossing, appearing and disappearing lines. I love the simplicity of straight lines. The last hat that I knitted is a second sample of my Ptiloris hat, and I knitted it while making a complete video tutorial for my pattern. This sample turned out to be very different. I feel like it has very different vibe because of different colors, but I love it just as much, and I wore it a couple of times already, which has reassured me that this sample is just as comfortable, just as warm and soft as my first one. I love how it looks, I love the colors, I love how contrasting they are, and without wasting any time, I knitted my favorite gloves to go with it. I wore them probably one time, but I already can say that I will wear them a lot because they are just as warm and soft and comfortable and squishy as always. And the last thing that I can show you is a work in progress. I'm working on a scarf from the same yarn that this sample of Ptiloris Hat, and it is again brioche scarf, this time very classic, straight lines, just the way I love it. You can see that I'm almost done. I just have to finish this ball, and I don't know, maybe I will attach another one just to make it extra long and cozy. And I can already say that I will wear this scarf a lot together with this hat and this pair of gloves, because it is very soft and squishy and warm, and I love how it turns out. Well, this is it. It took me 3 days to go through all of my things that I needed for my head, neck and hands, and I hope that you enjoyed it as much as I did. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all pretty soon. Bye!